Welcome back to Sarah's table. Pew, 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 pew. Finger guns, I guess again. I can't stop doing the finger guns.
They're addictive. You just feel so powerful.
I really
Pew.
do. And I'm pretty anti-violence and anti-weapon. But
Same. I live in a country with very few guns.
Yeah, so few guns. Yeah, me too.
If only.
Oh, boy. Well, I feel like that really set the tone.
I mean, independent of that, I do still love finger guns.
It's true.
It's a great way to intro or like say hello. It's just, very dynamic.
I am like painfully bisexual, and I can't not.
Happy belated bisexual day. I think that was recent.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the 23rd. So that whole week, because by visibility week, I had, disadvantage on my stealth checks.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not hard to see me because I drape myself in rainbows at all times. I was talking at a con recently. I said, boy, I hope that I feel like it would be really hard for me. Like, I know my brand is really strong, but I'm really hoping that I don't get to a point where I have to have security. I know, you know what I mean? I know that people who have security, it's still really nice for me to be able to just I get recognized a little bit when I go around, but
so
most
lovely.
of the time I can just go through and do whatever I want. And I was rainbows had vomited on me. There was just I was head to toe full rainbow on my shoes and socks and dress and shrug, and my purse was a rhinestoned rainbow.
Very nice.
And my partner was like, I mean, babe, maybe you should rethink what you got going on here, because you are very easy to spot in a crowd.
Yes.
Just yeah.
Nobody will miss you and everybody will remember you.
Yeah. And I was and my hair was freshly dyed with all the colors, and I had
so
rainbows
nice
on my nails, and I was you know what? You're probably right.
I mean, you had a theme and you were sticking to it.
I know. And that's fine. It's to the point where literally every time we go in a store and there are rainbow products of any kind, my children are both like, Mama, you need.
Oh,
do you need?
You have taught them well. They know what's up. Yeah,
yeah. Or gay stuff, Mama. Do you need the gay stuff? And I'm
I probably do need it.
I think I do. You're not wrong.
That's so wonderful.
I should buy that.
Don't need it, but definitely want it.
Yeah, need is a strong word.
Right.
But I maybe do. Anyway, thanks for listening to that, everybody at home. What a lovely intro. Hi, I'm Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I'm going to be your host tonight, and one of the werewolves in this game. And I'm going to be your favorite person, and I'm going to remind everybody to have some water, because I know that the weather is turning, but you're probably dehydrated, so take a sip.
I mean, you're not wrong, so thank you.
I know.
This is my first glass of the day. Oof. Working on it.
Oof. We're getting there. That's all right.
I had a pot of coffee instead. I made my choice.
There is water in that.
Absolutely. I do not believe it counts.
I don't. I think it's negative because of the amount of dehydration that caffeine and coffee causes you, but
exactly.
But
hey, this is better than zero.
There's liquid, and that's a good start. Today we are playing the second session of Women Are Werewolves by Yeonsoo Kim. This is produced by Ninth Level Games, and it is a card game. You have prompts on cards, and you are playing a non-binary character in a society where all of the women turn into werewolves, and it affects how you see yourself and how others treat you and how your family treats you. As a heads up, this can be a pretty heavy game. I'm going to do a safety discussion. I think that's really important. as a responsible gamer and DM and human being, know where everybody's lines are, especially in this game, which deals specifically with trauma and family misgendering and cruelty, and how that can just really get in there. So
and dysphoria,
so many things. It's a big, heavy one. Okay, so here on Sarah's table, you're never going to find sexual violence, physical violence against children, withholding food as punishment, or starvation. We're avoiding the racisms, the isms, all of the isms, and as much as possible the homophobia, although this game sort of has a little bit of that baked in because of what we are doing, and we are treading very lightly with it, with the understanding that if either of us become uncomfortable at any time, that we can just take a minute and we pause and redirect.
I'll go hug my puppy.
Yeah.
Grab the cat.
Sometimes you need a little moment. Actually, I would love to have you introduce yourself, B. Who are you?
Oh, well, I was mostly just the person that was enthusiastically agreeing. But I am B. Zelda. My pronouns are they, them. And I am super excited to complete part 2 of this game, Women Are Werewolves. I'm going to be playing, the other werewolf, Monstera. They, them. Right. Yes. And I just, this game is so intense. And I have told anybody and everybody who will listen to me about how they have to play this game.
Play it.
You have to. It's so, you feel and you can't not. And it's just I need everybody to experience that, because it's kind of unique, but it's also not. And it's just really important in the way that the stories are told is beautiful. Painful but beautiful.
Yeah, that's an excellent description of this game. Painful but beautiful. Yeah. And we are playing specifically the 2-player variant, where we are friends, pen pal friends, that we met as children. And so all of these stories are playing out as letters to the other person, which I think is such an interesting way of doing it. There's also a solo variant where you just write the letters on your own to someone else, which I think could be very interesting and probably incredibly intense, because you're just by yourself, sort of hanging out in your feelings. You can also play it as a group. Originally it is intended for 3 to 6 players, so you absolutely can, with a facilitator or with not, and you can just sort of decide if you needed somebody outside as a guide, that you could do it that way. But we're giving this the old 2-player try, which is brand new. I don't think it is still available yet. But if you do go to the 9th Level Games website, they are beta testing these 2-player variant or solo variant, so you can download it as an attachment with the rest of the game.
Very cool.
I am playing Panny, pronouns they, he. We are currently 32. This is the age, and we are looking back on our life, and telling stories to each other. When I transform into dire wolf form, all fours wolf form. And I really love playing music and doing a lot of musical things. And I feel most comfortable when I am in wolf form, which is the thing that we had in the first episode. We talked about a lot of how much you have to give up if you decide that you want to just stay in that form all the time, and how that can affect your relationships if you feel most happy that way, but then you will potentially be incredibly lonely.
It's very isolating.
Anybody that you can, and it's dangerous to go out in that form on a non full moon situation, because people will call the authorities. They could potentially physically harm you. Just a lot. And so, Ra is like an upright vampire.
Werewolf.
Wow,
Yes,
my brain just went in a different direction. I don't know what happened.
And you're just thinking supernatural.
I am.
It's all the same.
Oh, woof.
But yeah, upright with like the haunches and like the it's cute. Yeah.
And Ra hates transforming. Yes.
They do not like it. It's the culture around it has never felt right to them.
Mhm.
And yeah, with all the feelings of werewolf and gender and trying to navigate body and werewolf, yeah. Human body has felt slightly better than werewolf body.
Yeah. Not a lot better, as it turns out. But
Nope.
But like Ra has more control over human body than over
Exactly.
werewolf body. So with that in mind. Ooh, and everybody has a very complicated family dynamic. Ra's family dynamic is like the worst one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We truly picked like code red, we just went to the tier 3.
Tier 3, willfully ignorant and no intention of doing better.
Yep.
And then because everyone can choose their own levels. Penny's family is divided. Some are supportive, but others are intolerant. So we, in the first episode, did our werewolf letters from both sides with the interlude, and then we did Ra's gender letter with their interlude. There, he, there.
There, yeah.
There, them.
I had to check too.
And so we're going to do Penny's gender letter scene, and then we are going to do his interlude, and then we will do both of our family letters, which the family one is, the questions are the roughest,
like the heaviest hitting.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's give it a shot. All right. So my question, we're in that gender. The one that we did for Ra, to remind everybody, for that one was you were gifted a photo album on your last birthday containing pictures of you throughout your life. Fun.
Yeah, fun.
I feel like maybe that's the wrong word.
Depends on your perspective.
And the one that I have been given, which is maybe not any more fun, is at one point, your family expressed concerns about your viability as a mate. What did they say that you still carry with you to this day? And do you believe it?
Dang. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So this is because we are doing letters from the approximate same age, as each other. So Penny was about like 27, I believe, is what we said that was happening, and has the ability physically and biologically to get pregnant. But that is not a thing that they have ever wanted. That is not how they see themselves. And they don't that is so female for them that they actively reject it. And I think probably every couple of years, their mom is like, oh, when are you gonna give me some grand pups? Like, when do I get to have? It's really important that we carry on our line, and
especially
when is
every
that
time
happening?
You visit.
Every
it seems
time.
like a good question to ask,
Yeah.
So when could we expect some pups? What's going on in your love life? Are you seeing anybody? How are you feeling? Are you taking good care of yourself? You're not spending too much time in wolf form, right?
I think there's probably also a regimen that has been sent along of generations of women in our family. This is how we have made it like for healthy pups, and like this is what we do, and there's probably like a lot of grooming and also a lot of like supplements and like things that you do like in different phases of the moon and all of this stuff. And I think for a really long time he was able to just sort of duck it, like, nope, just haven't gotten around to it, don't really need it, like. And I think that there was like a sit down of like, you're getting old now.
Oof.
For childbearing, and it's time that you took your responsibility seriously.
This sounds like, quite a few members of your family, all of the women would have kind of gathered you into maybe taking you out for dinner or for lunch, kind of in a public place where you can't protest too loudly.
Right. I wonder if it was like an ambushy sort of like even something that maybe something had happened in my music career that they were like pretending to celebrate.
Yeah.
Let's take you out for dinner because you've achieved. You like signed a new contract or something. You were able to like. This is you had a song released or something.
Yeah. So you have that feeling of excitement, that confidence, that feeling of support in this moment. You got dressed up. What do you think you wear for this celebration?
I mean, I think he's in a suit. Like, I think he found like a suit and tie that just like makes him feel really good. Like, I think it's probably like a really saturated color, like a really deep, maybe like a green, like just like velvety, just feels good on, and he feels really like himself. I think he's maybe wearing a binder.
Heck yeah.
Perhaps. I think he's like he got dressed fancy, like wingtip shoes that he spent too much money on. Because he just felt like, and the whole package, and just like felt really good. And didn't realize that it was all the women of the family until he got to the restaurant, and I think started having that like, oh, something else is happening here.
Yeah. They all greet you enthusiastically. There is, or would there be drinking a bottle of wine, or do we think probably just water? I'm getting the vibe that everybody's very conscious of not only like their health, but like what their health can do for
like eating clean kind of. I think they're. I would bet that there's not a lot of like doctor like intervention with anything. So this is what they're probably pretty like crunchy. Like
they know what's worked because it's worked for generations.
Yeah. Do you have a headache? Here is the herb that you can take to have that. And like I'm getting the like rub a crystal on it kind of.
Having a hard day, go sit in the sun for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we don't get any sort of. We're not going to get vaccines here because that's putting poison in your body. And like, I don't think Penny believes that at all. I think as soon as he got out, he was like, doctors. What do I need? Like,
let's do it all.
And I'm sure that it's I'm sure that there's like a supernatural, like there's a community of medical folk who specialize in werewolves. Like, I can't imagine that there wouldn't be. It's like being, like a large animal vet. It's like a branch of it. I think that because they'd have to know anatomy for both forms.
Exactly.
Which is different, and how things translate and everything.
A lot to consider.
Yeah. And I also like, what a really interesting topic, truly. Like, if something happens to you in your wolf form, like when you transform back, what is that?
what are the internal injuries like? How does that reflect
Because it
upon
would
your
move, right? Like everything would move around.
Yep. But like,
Oh,
yeah, weird. You maybe find out that like, oh, my pain hurts a little bit less when I'm transformed versus when I'm in human form because I'm a little too compact in human form.
so
My
things
organs are too
it
pressed
moves in a
together,
different spot. Or
right?
like, should you not transform because of an injury until it's healed because it would like
Oh,
tear something or something?
crunch. Yeah.
Ooh,
I want to know more about this.
me too. I'm really interested. Instead of being a large animal vet, can we have a discussion about
Please.
wolf anatomy and like what would happen?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I just want to know the theoreticals. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Also, it just feels so much like it is a short story series of like the adventures of like it's like a Dr. Quinn medicine woman thing,
Exactly.
but of that she only deals with werewolves.
Mm-hmm. The origin stories for this would be so good too.
My God, I love
like,
it. And just in time for Halloween season.
Yeah.
So
somebody start writing this. I'll read it.
okay. All right. Okay.
Right. So you've been ambushed.
Ambushed, sits down. Everybody is probably forcing water on him.
Yeah.
I don't think the family member that's on their side is Aunt Jade.
Yep.
I don't think she's there.
Yeah. She doesn't normally attend a lot of these. Not if she can help it.
She'd have to be in human form. She doesn't know how to do that in public.
It's the worst to do in public.
The worst. So yeah.
Your mom, Rose.
Oh no.
I think would be kind of definitely sitting right next to you, looking you over. You're looking kind of pale. Are you feeling okay? Has everything been going well?
Yeah. I actually feel really good, especially today. I'm really excited about my song release, and they're talking about wanting to maybe have me do, several more, like maybe even up to a full album, which is really exciting. And so,
that's lovely.
Yeah, and if I do it, I might be able to also go on tour, which is something that I have been
traveling
about. Yeah,
do you think you could travel if you're pregnant? That sounds dangerous. I mean, I know that it's dangerous,
but I'm not pregnant.
The clock is ticking, though. I know we've talked about this, but and she'll like raise her wine glass of like sparkling water and tap it. If I could get everybody's attention, please. And instantly they hush because this is prepared amongst them.
Of course.
Thank you, everybody, for gathering. This is the intervention of. Oh, I don't think I spelled your name right.
Frangipani.
That was a P. Frangipani. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the intervention of my child, Frangipani.
Oh, no. I'm good,
honey. It is time you settled down. You have committed enough of your time to work, and now it's time to get pregnant, have pups. We have all talked about some potential suitors for you. We've analyzed different aspects of your personality. I've given everybody the rundown. This is your distant cousin from Canada, and over there is Ivy from your cousin you went to school with. And yes, dear.
Did you bring people here for me to meet as a mate?
Absolutely. I mean, when do we ever see you this dressed up? I don't know if everybody's going to necessarily be into your style, but we always support you wearing whatever you would like. It is really, really important to our family. You have to settle down.
But we've talked about how I am not going to have kids. I'm not a woman. So I'm not going to have children like a woman would have children.
You don't have to be a woman. It's just you are you. and you can continue our family lineage. We bear strong cubs. Look at you, are beautiful and talented, and you're so smart. And it's just,
I'm actually dating someone.
oh, and like there's like a murmur amongst all of the other women, and they're all like, oh, who, where, like, do we know him?
Her name is Angela, and she is just a human.
Oh,
She's
and there's like a
in
disagreement
the band.
murmur.
Oh, I'm sure. She's just she plays the guitar, and she makes me happy. So
okay, we all value your happiness. We love you so much, but I guess whenever you're done with this fling, maybe we can reconsider some suitors.
It's not a fling, and even if I'm done with it, it's not going to make me a woman again. That's not how it
understand.
Works.
You can do this though, and this is all I've ever wanted as a mother.
Can't do it. It's not about that. I can't have kids.
Is there something I don't know about it? You've been following the regimen as instructed, right down to, chamomile tea and an adequate amount of sunlight, and you're crushing up some sunflower seeds and rubbing it on your feet.
I don't expect you to understand. I mean, I hoped maybe one day you would. I don't expect you to understand. I just would really love it if you would just believe me.
I think Rose falls silent. And there's like
not very often that happens.
Oh my God, no. Not with her sister either.
Oh no.
And there's like that murmur of disagreement. And I think that's when like all of your family members start to pipe up with their excuses, their opinions. And then the waiter comes by to take your order.
Yeah. I mean, I think Penny orders like just like a gin cocktail. And like something that has a lot of cheese in it, like stuff that is like super comfort, kind of greasy things that like he loves eating, but
it's not normally like
would never get it at home because that's not how they like do things. And I think his I think his little like silent protest is like, I'm going to eat this food, but I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to get what I want. And I'm just going to like, they're all just going to be.
You're going to do it your way.
Yeah. And I think afterwards, I think the end of the letter is that like, they say that they went home and Angela was there to greet them. And that it was really like, I think Angela, I think they were feeling raw enough that they needed to be a wolf. And I think maybe that's the first time that they were a wolf in front of her.
Ooh, that's so vulnerable.
Yeah. And like, so like they came from this like really emotional, hard, like feeling like they were not accepted to coming home and being like, I this is it. I've got to show you. And I think the end of the letter is like, it's new and very clearly was shocking, but like, I think we're doing okay between the two. We're giving it a shot. So like tentatively Angela accepted. I think it's a big deal because as a human, I think you don't know at all about the whole anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Aw, I
that's what
love
I think
that.
happened
There's
there.
like, a silver lining in all of that.
Only because it was so terrible with the family. And then my interlude. Oh no. Okay. There was a family member you once felt you could talk to about anything up until a moment when you realized they were not safe. Do you think they were always unsafe, or did something change them? What changed within you at that moment?
Dang.
Um, well, we had talked previously about Penny's father being like sort of standing up for them and like let them be a wolf if they want to be a wolf. They could, like let them do that. And I think that
Aw.
Penny really had latched onto that for a really long time of like, but he's on my side. And so if I
Yeah.
need anything, I can talk to him. And I think that like, I think when at some point, maybe as like a teenager, like a mid-teen between 14
Mhm.
and 16, they overheard their father like basically saying she is gonna get over it. So
Mhm.
like we just need to wait it out because she'll come to her senses and it'll be fine. And so like I think it was less about him supporting them and more about like, oh, well, kids are just going to make weird choices and it's not a big deal. Let's just,
Mhm.
so I think he was probably not as safe as they thought he was, but like was just safer than,
Comparatively.
yeah.
Ugh, that's so rough.
Yeah. I think that they learned to stop talking to adults for a while. I think they were like, well,
Yeah.
nobody is safe for me. So I'll
Oh,
just
sweet
stop.
child, and all of your trust issues.
No, I just want to hug both of these.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just hugs forever. Like, this is the kind of thing that like I hear and I'm like, I'm your mom now.
Yes.
Come here. Let me,
I am your parent now.
gimme.
He'll show you kindness, respect, love,
What do you
and
need?
we will
Tell me
eat
what
all
you
of the
need. Like,
snacks.
yeah, let's have some snacks and some like hot cocoa.
Yes. Whew,
Can be
okay.
non-dairy if you need it. Let's go.
Thank you. Hot cocoa works with oat milk. It's fine.
Sure does. And it tastes kind of like a chocolate, like oatmeal cookie.
Ooh, yeah. I never thought of that. I'm going to make that after this now.
I very much like dessert. So I have explored a lot of options.
I respect that.
It's a big part of my personage is dessert.
Same. It's a portion of my diet that shouldn't be as big of a slice as it is, But
yeah, but also whatever. Like
makes me happy.
Denying yourself is like, why are we do that?
Yeah.
Like you only live once. You can't take anything with you. So like
that's seriously when you
really
die, that's
enjoy what you've got going on.
Yeah.
Like food is such
cherish
a big
your
one.
moments. That's a big thing too. And like enjoy the thing. Don't just thing. Like just eat it in a breath if you want to, but also like I try to, not all the time, but I try to take moments where I'm actually trying to enjoy the thing that I'm eating because I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is really cool.
It's like a sensory experience. One of my kids, when he was little, would like, we used to joke that like eating was like a full body thing for him because like if you gave him an ice cream cone and you turned around for a second, when you turned back, it was all over, right? It was everywhere, but he was so happy. And like, I think you just need to like, need to enjoy stuff.
That makes him happy. Hell yeah.
Give it. Oh, and then food just came in my room just now.
You have put that into existence? Heck yeah.
Did. I love that.
Oh, that's excellent.
Man, I wish that happened every time we started talking about food.
Same. That's the real dream right there.
Right? That is the supernatural power that I would like. Yes. Summon food.
Oh, never mind flying, teleportation, laser ray. No.
It's really a very specific form of teleportation. It's just food to you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like it.
I love it. All right. Well, let's see what's going on with Ra and family.
Yeah, okay. So this is the final.
Yeah. So
segment?
we have the final prompts and then interludes and then epilogue.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so here we go for Ra. Okay. Much to your relief, there is one aspect of the monthly tradition that your family abandoned in the past few years. What part do you play in its removal? And does anyone in your family resent you for this? I feel like I already know who would resent you.
Yeah, my sister.
Obviously. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think her name was Sweet
Pea. Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, Sweet Pea. Just like the meanest of mean girls.
Seriously, and the name is perfect for that. It's giving like 90s teen movie, like hot girl villain.
Yeah.
It's so good. Or I guess 80s maybe. But anywho, so a tradition that we no longer participate in. I love it. Sweet Pea hates it and might resent me as a result.
Yeah.
I mean,
yours. So to remind folk who maybe don't remember from the last episode, you once a month for the full moon take like a boat out to like a cave and everybody gets naked and waits for the moon to kiss their skin.
Like,
and then just like there's like a little fire in the middle because it is a special vented cave and like is a painful transformation. And there is something there was the like bone comb.
Oh yeah. That belonged to, I think, our grandma.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So some social grooming aspect to it. So so it can be one of those things, or it can be something that we hadn't talked about prior that is like removed.
I mean, I'm also trying to think. So like for a few years, I had been transforming on my own outside of the family cave.
Yep.
I was living away. So like that's
you had
not
found like
abnormal.
A community.
I want to be like it's the grooming. Because I think it's just it's very specific. Like, you know, that old age, like I don't really know where this comes from, but there was always like women had to brush their hair like 100 times.
I heard that like gleaming
movies. Yeah. And it's very much that, but like the werewolf version. And it's a process. I think we probably start head to toe, but, you know, clean ears, groom, nails.
Do you groom as wolves, like after you've transformed?
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's probably like a 1 to 2 hour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. It's uncomfortable.
Well, and because of how you have described, like, I bet yours takes longer then because of the fact that
I always transform shaggy and matted.
Yeah.
No matter. And it's truly just a self-reflection, you know, really kind of highlighting how Monstera feels internally. And I think there was a breaking point, and showing up. I take the ferry, the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I took a ferry because I don't want to have to travel with the family on our private boat all the time.
Yeah.
And there's probably the regular amount of everybody in the cave. We'll say like 7 to 10 folks, a variety of women from the family, and a couple are transforming as the light starts to shine through the hole in the cave.
Mm-hmm. And how old are you, do you think, at this point?
You want to say 30?
Whoa, it's very recent.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I like this kind of ascension towards the now as we kind of go through all these steps in our life.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, because as somebody who has, I've already like IRL have passed 30, and everybody kind of marked it as like this big momentous thing. It's like, oh, you're turning 30. It's like so dramatic. Wasn't as dramatic, but what was how my own decision making had kind of changed, and I started to prioritize myself better.
Yeah.
And I think Ra will reflect that need to prioritize themselves a lot more. And in this moment of they are the last one to transform, and they do. Grooming has already started. There's a handful of bone comb.
Sure. Yeah.
Bone comb. Terrible.
I mean, for no other reason than to not have to say that anymore.
Yes.
Really. Get rid of it.
That's why we have to stop this.
With the snout, it's hard to say.
We have some kind of sign language that I think would be translated with like, bodies, head shakes, ear inflections.
Yeah. I'm sure like grunts and
absolutely. They all convey specific meanings and feelings. And Ra will finally convey that they do not want to participate in this grooming aspect. I can't keep doing this. I feel horrible every month. I hate the zoomed in kind of microscopic lens it sheds on me. I know I don't fit in. I don't feel good. Why should I have to continue to do this for the rest of my life when it's the worst part of every month?
And like, it's because you're so mad, probably also physically painful, like not only psychologically and emotionally, but like it's pulling on you physically. Yeah. I think there's probably been times when Sweet Pea especially has been maybe a little overzealous and like maybe clumps came out and like,
oh yeah. And then
drew a little blood, like, because you have to be gentle if you're teasing out
tangled hair.
Yeah.
Frankly, you shouldn't even be using a comb. You should be using like coconut oil and like, get in there with your fingers.
Yeah.
But that's not how things are done with this family. And
do you think it would have made a difference if somebody had tried to take the time like that?
I think the feelings wouldn't be so fraught.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe Ra would feel a little less like this frantic, shouting, angry moment is the only option that they've had left.
Mm-hmm.
Had the entire process been not a constant source of pain, in every way possible.
Mm-hmm. I think that Sweet Pea is throwing a fit in conveying as much as possible that like this is how it's done, how like you are breaking tradition. You're already so weird. Like, why do you have to make it hard like this every time? And I think that, maybe some of the older generation who just like, yeah, whatever. Like, they're just like, don't do it. Like, if you want to do it, you can do it. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And I think that there are probably a couple of younger werewolves that are like, so not done? Dope. Like, they kind of like come over to your side and like, Like, okay. And maybe even a couple of the older ones that have been like, I have been doing this 55 years.
So long.
So tired. Just leave me alone. Like, I
There
just
has
want
to be another way to bond.
Yeah. So I would say there's probably like 50-50 of people who are doing it because they love it.
Yeah.
Or because they just like can't give up. No,
that tradition.
How it's supposed to be. And then a decent amount of ones that are like, well, like, so I could leave like 2 hours earlier and like go stretch my legs. This feels better. Like, yeah, I think that Sweet Pea is mad enough at you that this is maybe, and you can combat this if you feel like it is too much, but I think it's maybe like a breaking point for her. Like, I think maybe she,
yeah, no, that feels right.
Speaking to you,
I think, and I don't know, I think that maybe we fight.
Yeah,
it seems
like werewolf fight. Like,
yeah. You know, siblings have a lower threshold for wanting to be violent towards each other.
Sure.
And she's never really been the one to fight back until now. And it gets bloody. There's screaming, snarling. And I think our mom has to break it up. And she storms away.
Either of you have scars?
I think so. And I was trying to imagine, like, where can I give Sweet Pea a scar that, like, I think it has to be like a face scar.
It feels like it needs to be a face scar. Yeah. Well, like how that would translate from wolf form into like the thing that we were talking about earlier. Like what would it
coming back? Like? Ooh, I think in wolf form it's a smaller cut, you know, down here by the lip, but in human form it goes all the way down.
Probably pretty big.
Yeah. And it's harder to cover up, you know?
And I think she just like never forgives you for that.
Absolutely not.
Because beauty is so important to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is not Ra's personal priority. I think I'm trying to think, like, where can they get a badass scar? Maybe it's like kind of like some bite marks that were tear marks, just kind of down their cheek and down their neck. Because I mean,
very
dogs
visible.
go for the neck. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think the approach to it is, I mean, Rob would probably never try to cover it.
Absolutely not. Barely scars. And like, they make them feel kind of powerful because it was a moment in which they affected an actual change in their family for the first time in 30 years.
Was that the first time that you had seen them since the birthday?
I think so. Because it really puts the tensions. Yeah. Makes them thick.
And I think, like, you know, there was probably, before she cut ties with you, after you had transformed back into humans, and she was so like horrified that there was going to be this scar on her face.
Things were said that can't be unsaid.
It cannot be unsaid. I mean, I think it was like, how dare you come in here? You haven't talked to us in 3 years. And now you come in here trying to change everything. Like, I think probably we were better off without you was probably hurled at you in pointed anger.
Toss in a couple of poisonous barbs, you know, towards the last dinner, towards gender and presentation. Definitely presentation, you know, werewolf and in wolf form and out of wolf form.
Yeah. I think, like, because of the open hostility that the level of hostility that like Ra's family is in, I feel like there probably would have been we're better off without you because, like,
this is how you look, this is how you act.
Yeah, every family of werewolves has one that's broken.
Oh yeah,
thing. Like, you
definitely
we should have sent you away already, kind of a thing. in previous generations you wouldn't have been allowed to survive.
I was just gonna bring up that, you know how like it's very much like you would have been left out in the wild and you would have been sad and cold.
Yeah.
Till
Isolated.
the end.
Yeah. Is that perhaps in this mythos, is that like where the lone wolf thought came from?
I like that. Because there's a little bit of forced isolation in that too, which kind of feels right for the theme of this overall game.
Oof.
Yeah. And I'm trying to imagine the end of this letter. You know, the last kind of bits are just the insults that have been hurled at Ra, and they write them out. Like, this has been unforgettable. These words are unforgivable. And no, regardless, though, I feel amazing for being able to make that change, for being able to see people that are like me and listen to the things that I had to say. And I think I'm going to be okay. Hope you're doing well.
I feel like it would be appropriate for you to send a Polaroid.
Oh, Polaroids. I love that.
Of it.
Yeah, it's still kind of, it's raw, you know, it's red and the scabs are just starting to just look so badass.
Yeah, it is not healed. Oof. Yeah. But at 32, it would be definitely healed.
Absolutely.
But like, probably still gives you trouble.
Here and there. Just got the annoying.
Tell when the weather is changing and stuff because it like
it hurts.
It hurts.
Oh, I love that.
Woof.
All right. I think I am ready for the interlude.
Okie dokie. Interlude 3. Oh no. Okay. All right. This is a next generation you have to help sort of situation.
Oh my gosh, I love it already. Okay.
A younger member of the family comes out to everyone as queer.
Yes.
Whether or not you've talked about it, you know they look to you for guidance. Does this change what you are willing to accept about yourself? And what example do you choose to set, if any?
Does this change how you choose to accept yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's heavy hitting. And I'm just like, my brain is like 1,000 scenarios at once.
Yeah.
I love this question.
It's a good question.
The heck? Wow. Okay. I'm just trying to imagine this, you know, so we have this family member, maybe it's like a nibbling, and they do everything that I wasn't able to do. They come out publicly. Yeah.
At what age do they come out, you think?
10?
Oh,
12?
Wow. Yeah. Just
like it's so beautiful, but like I mean, I don't want to sound like a crotch-fueled person, but even like me as B, like I cannot help that pang of jealousy that I feel. But it's also intertwined with this feeling of being so proud and like so happy that some groundwork has been laid for their ability to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, Ra reflects those feelings. And at this family dinner, the nibbling comes out and the family response is muted. It's not outrage. It's not uproar. It's not insults. Mm-hmm. It's not congratulations. But it just...
Is it more like a... that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Sit down. We're trying to eat. Like it's dismissive, but it's not an outright rejection. And I think maybe Ra and the nibbling will get to have a short conversation, and Ra expresses like just how proud they are and how happy they feel. I'm trying to think of like what is the internal, what could they accept about themselves? How
often has Ra
visited
that they're queer? Oh, look how uncomfortable you are. Just immediately you were like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I don't think they ever have.
Really?
They just avoided it, you know? They're like, they probably assume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember how in the first time we played this, I said there was going to be no bleed. This game has been 100% bleed.
Oh no, so much bleed.
So sorry. I'm just
Don't
like, ooh,
apologize.
what was the real life? I just didn't tell my family. I'm just like, they'll figure it out. You know, it's not. And like my situation was absolutely not what was it, level 3? You know, my IRL was very much a level 1. But so yeah, they definitely have not told their family. And I think, you know what? Actually, here, that does answer my own question, because they can accept within themselves the ability to tell their family. And I'm also trying to imagine a scenario in which they've gone back to a family dinner, but perhaps the 50% that really agreed with them on how they should spend their time post transformation.
Yeah.
It's been kind of this slow coming together, and there's just nobody really voices their opinions anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. Dinners are quieter, but
so this is like present day.
I think so. It really feels like it, because it feels like this would be the now, you know?
Yeah.
Some relationships have been improved. My sister and I, we do not talk. We do not make eye contact.
Sure.
We will not drive in the same room. We can be in the same room, but we can't be in the same car together.
Got it.
Like there just has to be a buffer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not unreasonable.
Is it one of her kids?
I think so.
Oh, that's gotta be terrible for her. I bet she hates that.
Absolutely. And I think this would have to be the dinner then, with Ra kind of just, you know, expressing like, oh my goodness, you are amazing. You're incredible, little nibbling. I'm so proud of you. Do you mind if I also take this opportunity to talk to our family about the exact same thing? Because I've just never said it in words.
Oh, yeah. I bet she would love that. He?
Let's go they, them. I mean, nibblings are the neutral term, which I've fallen in love with. It's such a cute word.
What a great term.
Makes me so envious, because like aunt and uncles do not have that kind of cute thing.
You don't have that. We should find something.
I have a nephew and I never know. He just calls me by my human name, and like,
sure.
But my partner, their full name is too hard for kids to say. So they often also just say B. So we're Aunt B and B. So I'm just B and like she's Aunt B. And it's we made it work.
Yeah. That's cute. Right? But like we'll audition terms for the general aunt uncle.
We have to. Because there's got to be something.
There's got to be something. Nibbling is the best. And
yeah, I think this nibbling, consents. They're like, yeah, you're not going to take the spotlight off me. What spotlight?
Bolster it. Like, yeah.
Yes. And when, the family kind of come back right before everybody's getting ready to say goodbye, maybe after dinner coffee, I just stand up and I say, thank you everybody for coming out to this insert holiday dinner. It's great seeing everybody. And I just want to let folks know how proud I am of our nibbling for coming out. And it seems silly of me that I haven't said this before, but I'm queer. I know you all know that my name is Ra, but thanks. And my pronouns are they, them. And then they sit down like really quickly.
I think your sister was in the room, and I think she huffily storms out.
Scoffs.
Yeah. But I think your newly came out nibbling, I think maybe comes up and gives you like a little squeeze, like a, hey, thanks. And I think that there's probably more folk in the older generation who like acknowledge it without being overt about it, but kind of like, yeah, we're good. Sort of a little, there's probably several of them who are statistically like pretty closeted. Like they're probably at least one or two that are like, yep, that is
You know,
me.
they kind of give you the head nod because
Hmm.
that feeling of, again, you know, you just wish that that could have been you.
Yeah.
So it's just so beautiful seeing
Yeah.
other people being able to finally do that themselves. This ended up being really lovely. You know, it's still like
Yeah.
there's like the stabs of like hatred and bitterness, but like overall, I really love this final
Yeah. It's
section.
good. It's good. I actually feel like that's maybe a great breaking point for us to take a quick bio break before
Yeah.
we do the last two little bits. So yeah, everybody go get yourself some oat milk hot chocolate
Yes.
and then come back here and we will see you in a few minutes. Bye. Welcome back from the break. Dee, 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 dee. Jazz hands. All right. Well, we left on a pretty heavy note, and I don't feel like it's gonna get lighter.
Lighter? No.
Okay. Here is Panny's family prompt.
Okay.
There is a queer relative you have always looked up to who is voluntarily estranged from the family. What was your last interaction with them before they left, and how does your family talk about them now? I feel like it's got to be Aunt Jade,
funny.
right?
Yes.
Like,
absolutely. Wow.
It's definitely Aunt Jade. And I think by the time I'm 30, between the 27 and the 30, I think that she just gets tired of everyone's garbage and is like, you know what? I'm out. She just leaves. I think that there are rumors of where she is. Like maybe she's sent a postcard every once in a while from somewhere.
I love that. Okay.
Like maybe, and she's probably in her 60s now.
Yeah.
Right? I think she's maybe like touring the national parks.
I was going to ask, what's the last postcard you got then?
Yeah, maybe from like Yosemite.
Perfect.
Like she's like, I think she's like finding what it's like to be a wolf in all these stretches of land that are protected, so there are less people there, and like she's just out doing it. I think there's a chance that she's maybe been banned from a couple of them.
Most likely. You know, it's just one of those things that kind of, it's hard to maintain that kind of a life on like conservation areas, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I think she wants to stay out there.
Of course.
Which means there's like a car in the parking lot.
That's so funny. So many tickets in it.
So many tickets.
Why has nobody towed it?
Yeah. And I think that she sends it to, I think Panny's the one that she keeps in touch with.
Yeah.
And I would bet that her family's been looking for her. And not in like a, we are concerned about you kind of way.
Okay.
But more in like a, it will reflect badly on us.
Okay.
If they find you somewhere.
Yeah. Insert, like, we don't want our family name to have to reflect this vagabond.
Yeah. Or even if she is somehow like injured in wolf form and changes back into human form to try to like get out, then like what a big, like, that's gonna make news.
That's a scandal. Yeah.
People are gonna know about it. And like,
well, that's a huge scandal.
And so much like eyeballs on our, it could expose that we are werewolves. It could expose, you know, like, and if nothing else, just so much attention on us.
When you're already just trying to exist,
trying to do
on your own, you know, never mind the, you know, the default. I think that makes a lot of sense, because I can only imagine how Rose really, like, how would she react? I think it would be an explosion. I think
not well. I would bet.
There's another family meeting, you know, all the women gather and they try to deliberate, like, well, why do we, you know, like the other aunties and nieces and whatnot, like, what do we do with her? What do we do with that Aunt Jade? That Jade.
I think they're maybe instructed to like disavow.
I was gonna ask, what would that? Yeah, so that's the term. What does that look like, do we think, within this community.
Well, I think that there's probably some hurt in like, she didn't tell anybody she was going. She was finally just like, I am done. I am done. Out.
Oh, I love her so much.
Yeah. She was just like, listen, I'm too old.
Yeah, this place ain't good.
Tired of this. I don't want to miss my chance to go do this.
Yeah, so much respect.
Yeah, right? You, Jade. So I think like, I think there's a little bit of the like, it hurts my feelings that she left.
Yeah.
But I think it's for most of the people, it's probably more like, it hurts my feelings that she is not what we expected her to be.
She's not a good representative of the family.
Yeah. We don't want people to think that we are like that.
Yeah. That's definitely the sentiment. Are you invited? I think you are actually. Sorry, you are invited to the meeting of the women to decide what to do.
Yeah.
About your Aunt Jade. And do you attend this meeting? Because like your Aunt Jade's kind of a big deal to you.
Yeah, I do. I think I go thinking. I don't think I know that it's because she's pieced out.
Okay.
You know, like I think I go because it was like we're having a meeting about Jade. And I think I went thinking like, well, I'm going to be her advocate because she's the only one that ever made me feel normal. And I'm not going to.
She spoke up for you. So why wouldn't you take this time to speak up for her?
Exactly. Like now that I am an adult and I feel like I can, like I feel more stable in myself, like I'm going to be there for her. And when I get there and she is not there and it's kind of a big, like they all knew and no one told me. I think she's probably been gone for
a few months.
At least. Yeah. Like 6 months.
What were you going to say?
Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's just been, and they finally were like, well, I guess she's not coming back. And so how are we going to, and I think, yeah.
Ugh. You probably also walk into them like it's like a pile-on. They're not saying kind things.
No.
It's a lot of words and expressions that you've used or that you've heard used against you before too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So yeah, it doubly does not feel good.
Well, and one of the questions was, what was your last interaction with them before they left? And I wonder if maybe Jade came to visit.
Makes sense. I like that. What was...
I think there would be a little bit of hurt on Penny's part that she didn't say where she was going to go.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you trust me? I've always been on your side. Like, why couldn't you have said something to me? But I think maybe there's a series of postcards, and I think one is maybe an apology of like, I was afraid that if I said something, I wouldn't have the guts to do it.
Yep. Like it's very much more about her than it was about you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I would bet that she's been trying to leave for years, like trying to just like work up the guts to be like, I don't need this network. I can go.
Mm-hmm.
And so like not saying anything, I'm sure was like, I what if I don't follow through? And then I'm just, you know, who am I then? Kind of a
thing. So sorry, what was the very last part of your question? You find out this thing about a family member and like
how does your family talk about them now? I think maybe they don't.
Right?
At all.
That horrible thing. Like where it's like
she's just erased.
Yeah. Ugh.
I think maybe every once in a while, like one of the really young kids is like, where's Auntie Jade? And they just like
don't answer.
There's like no response.
Ugh.
Like a gaslighting situation where they're just like,
I'm sure maybe there's like this is not the first time they've done that. You know, there was like a distant great uncle that was just never ever talked about, but you know, you met him once, you know, and
I think maybe this is even a triggering memory for Penny of like, there was someone when I was little that sort of did this, and like hadn't thought about them in so long because they were effectively like erased.
Yeah. Oh God, man.
And probably also having moments of like seeing their future of like, this is maybe the path that I'm on, is that they're gonna erase who I am because I'm not who they want.
That's a hard thing to reconcile. Do you reconcile that? Like, what is your now? Because they do not talk about your aunt, and you know that,
right?
Like this might be your future. How do you handle that? Do you act?
I think that Penny sort of leaves that meeting just resolute in like a, you know, blood isn't what makes family. And like, they have been building a family who loves them for who they are in their new place. And I think that like, they come out of that like, it's even more important to me now to do this. And like, I think that they just, I don't know that they can fully let go of their family, but I think that it is a like, there's a shift in priority and boundaries and like the space that they are giving to their family, and the family I think becomes a very like a small f, sure, relations, but like their family that they are building, capital F family, like becomes just like a much more like, they leave being like, no one is ever going to run away from this family because they feel like they can't be who they are. Like I'm will not let that be the legacy that I leave on, you know? So I think and I think that they try very hard probably. And I think their path past 32, because that's where we've ended them, is that they're looking for Jade. Like Jade is welcome here. Aww. And so they're gonna find like, track them down, like got a postcard. If you haven't left yet, gonna figure out how to find you, let you know where I'm at. Like, you have my address. You know,
doors always open.
Come here. Yeah. So I would like to think that in Aunt Jade's dotage, when they just want to be a wolf forever, that like, you know, Penny just like gets a dog. It's a very big dog.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, one day there's like a scratching at the door.
Like, there she is.
Yeah.
Like, come on in.
Tail wagging.
Yep.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yay. Let's see how bad my interlude is. We're just like, feel like this game involves a lot of like holding your face. And just like,
it does. I just like, it's the only way I can like squeeze the stress out. All
right, here we go. The family matriarch passes away.
Oh.
After a period of mourning, the family begins to reassign her responsibilities. The role you are offered would more deeply integrate you into the family. Do you accept it? Yes or no? And do you think that was the right choice for you?
Oh.
That
was a good question, because like, dang.
So I think that this is saying, I think we have established that Penny's mom, Rose, is the matriarch.
Correct.
And so it would make sense as the oldest child who transforms into a werewolf that like Penny would take over like leading the monthly ritual.
Exactly. And like sending out checking in on everybody to make sure, you know, they're I can't remember what you called it, like the structure that they follow is still good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of organizational and management, like people management.
I mean, and I think they would be good at it because it's, you know, it's spreadsheets and stuff. And I think that they could probably do it. But like,
do they want to?
No, absolutely.
How does he feel? Yeah. Okay. I didn't think so.
No. So they say no, but they do say that they will take up a project of like organizing the family lore.
Aww.
Because that's a thing that's part of that job, I think. I like that. It's the traditions and things. And so like he's like, I'll write it all down. But I think the way that they do it is very like, we're inserting all these people back in that you have erased. And like, I think that some of it is probably very bardic in tradition of like, you know, he's a musician and a songwriter. And I think some of it is told in song and like, I would love the idea of it to be like sort of underground popular, that like this album that he's written that is their family.
Oh my God. Like,
tree
yeah.
Is like, it becomes like a little cult following situation. Yeah.
I mean, the album is like, I don't know, like when a vinyl goes platinum, but like that version, but underground and specifically in like the supernatural areas.
Yeah. And I think that I think that he uses that a lot to like talk about mistakes that the family has made specifically and how we can try to fix it moving forward and generational trauma and how it doesn't need to be there. And like, yeah, I would love the idea of like doing a little mini tour, like with their giant wolf.
Yes, like, of course. I mean, you can't leave her behind. What's she gonna do?
Jade has come back for that part and is like, just like always present.
Oh my goodness.
That's I don't know beautiful. That it worked out with Angela.
Fair. And that's fine, you know?
But not because he's a werewolf. because he's a musician, maybe. Like
your schedule was just getting really hectic.
It's really hard. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
But I think they have a really strong
like friendship.
Yeah. I mean, the joke is that a lot of queer folk are still really, really good friends with
the space is kind of small.
Small space. So I see it, you know, like
just if we're gonna go to the same hangout, like I'm gonna see you across the room.
With each other.
Yeah, this can't be weird. Our friends are friends. Like
can't be weird. You are dating one of my exes. Come on.
Right.
Epilogue time. Could be good, could be bad. All right. Okay, Ra. Time passes. Okay. Whatever family you have chosen for yourself, you now make the rules for the monthly gathering.
Oh.
How are your gatherings different from the ones that you experienced before? Ra's in charge.
This is beautiful, though, because like this, there could not have been a better epilogue. I was kind of trying to consider like, what will the epilogue be? What will the end? What does the future hold? And the idea that this thing that had created so much anxiety, so much dysphoria, it was so consistent. It was monthly. And it was like they had no say. And finally, I think this is a combination. It's become more of a community. I think they live something very, very similar with the chosen family, but also quite a few of their family members have taken up residence. We'll say it's like a werewolf condo.
Yeah.
Because we're city folk.
Of course.
And I really like that idea. And it can be done. You can transform remotely. You do not have to attend in person. You can call in on Zoom. You can call in on your phone. Yes.
Oh man, I love that.
Why not? You know,
embrace the technology.
Seriously, no more showing up in person, having to take a boat to a cave.
Ugh.
Caves are smelly.
It's archaic, really.
Right. I think that the self-care routine has transformed into it's voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is a group that will get together every month, and you know they will do their own version of grooming, and it's consensual. There are check-ins, and a lot of it is really just hanging out in the hot tub in the condo.
Oh man, that
it's
sounds
just
great.
Right, it smells like wet dog the whole time, but other than that, it is great. And it's that freedom. It's the openness. I think even as the leader of this, I wasn't sure, like matriarch, patriarch, vatriarch.
Vatriarch is great.
Right?
I love that.
I think that's the title. So as the vatriarch, it's also a bit of a democracy. You know, there's a council.
You can vote on stuff you want to do.
Yeah. Ra doesn't always want the responsibility of like...
That's a lot to bear.
Yeah. So like, let's create a council. And it's just, you know, every year, I don't know, how many new moons are in a year? Like, I don't know the answer.
12.
There's 12 new moons as well. That's, yep. Like a full moon, but the opposite.
Yep.
What is something rare? Is that a blue moon? Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Okay. So blue moon is a second full moon in the same calendar month.
Got it. Okay. I'm like, I've had in my head, there's a term for this. So once every blue moon, literal, they have to be re-voted in. You know, you got to get at least 25 to 50 howls in order to be considered. That. So a lot of people are in and out. Yeah.
That's great. So everybody's sort of elected.
Absolutely. You know, my nibbling is on the council too. They were recently elected after turning 19. When can you can vote at that age too?
You can vote at 18. Yep.
18. Okay.
I mean, in the US, you can vote at 18.
I'm pretty sure you can in Canada. It wasn't my year to vote based on like how our thing was happening.
Because of where. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Great.
I love the ending that I like.
Yeah.
Just being able to take control of that situation feels so good.
I have a question for Ra.
Mm-hmm.
You are in control now. You seem to feel better about who you are. You're more secure in who you are. When you transform, you have to transform at every moon. How are you presenting? Are you still really matted?
I love that you asked this. Thank you so much. No, not anymore. The the hair has kind of tamed itself. Their back, is straighter. Their posture, their demeanor, all of it is it's regal, but it's regal in a way that doesn't look feminine. It doesn't look masculine. It just looks powerful.
That's awesome. I love that.
Seriously, though, thank you for asking. That's like the perfect tie-in.
Yeah. I mean, I think this whole game is really about like accepting who you are despite what society and your family think of you. Exactly. And I think that is such like a beautiful message. And like, it takes a while to get there. Like, how old do you think they are before they feel that way?
35, 36.
Okay.
36. I was going to say 40, but like, I think, starting, it's okay to start at any age, but 36 is like a nice, you get that couple warm up and then you really get into it when you're 40. You're like, I think I figured it out.
I got it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Plus, when you reach 40, regardless, I feel like you just like lose all your extra F's to give. you're just like, I don't even care anymore. Like,
I love that.
it's just like,
Because you've
woke up
earned it
and
at
they
that
were
point.
gone. Like, I guess gotta be who I am, I guess. All right. I think that Penny,
Is your question the same?
it's the same for the epilogue.
Love it. Okay.
I think that Penny has like just like a group of misfits. I don't think there's maybe one other werewolf prior to Aunt Jade coming back. So that would make two other werewolves. I think that there's probably some vampires in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's probably like a changeling or two. I think that like he has built himself just like a little coven of misfit weirdos. And so the monthly gathering is less about transforming because not everybody transforms involuntarily on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more about like, I think it's just like a potluck game night, like just like come over.
Are you on the farm still or on a farm?
I mean, I think so. I think it is a farm. It is not the same farm.
Okay.
But I think it is a farm because there's space.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of room to spread out. And so I think once a month people come over. I mean, I think they're more than just once a month, but those nights are like everybody brings a dish and maybe a movie, and like the werewolves they get there early enough that they make sure that they transform. And like I think Penny is just like content to like do a couple laps in the farm and then come back and like snooze by the fireplace kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. I think this is like everybody is careful to remind Penny that they are the goodest boy. And like, you know, everybody like he falls asleep on somebody's foot every time, like just like cozy and comfortable. And when Aunt Jade moves in, there's sort of like a cuddle puddle.
Oh my God, yeah.
Situation. And I would actually say that there's probably, when Jade passes, like they spend the next one as kind of like a wake, and everybody like trades stories of what their favorite thing that Aunt Jade, because most of them have only known Aunt Jade as a wolf because he stopped changing. And so like, you know, sort of like probably had her favorite toys and all of those things, and they, you know, have a little service for her. And I think it's more about like holding a space for people who think that they don't fit in anywhere else. And that's like what those rituals have become for him.
I love that. Do you stay in touch with any of your family, especially after Aunt Jade moved in and you kind of got established? Like, are you in the same area as your family? I'm just like,
well, I think we am in the same area, but I think once Rose died, I think whoever took over didn't take kindly to the fact that they made their family tree sort of a public thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
no, that's fair. You've created your cozy, safe home. Mm-hmm. And that's really what matters, because you surrounded yourself with like the best kind of people.
Yeah.
I like to imagine there's like a super short vampire.
Oh yeah.
Just because like, I don't know, the lower you are to the ground, the more likely you are to just like lay on the ground with said animals, because
like lay across. I also think that this is probably one of those situations where like, you know how you have that group of friends who, when they have kids, you're just like automatically an aunt or uncle, like you're amazed, like instantly. Yep. And so I think that there's a lot of like vignettes of like toddlers riding on a giant wolf, you know, like I think that happens. And I
That's so
think
wholesome, though.
and yeah, and like the idea that like every so often somebody will just bring in a new member and be like, hey, this is so and so, and I think they need to be here.
Yes.
And some of them are probably human.
I think
because
so.
humans get just as lost.
Right. And that is like such a beautiful little like melange of people.
Yeah. Who all need a hug real bad.
Every single one of them. But our last pen pal messages to each other are just the best.
Yeah. I also think I think that there's definitely been as adults, we try to frequent more often.
Yeah.
I would bet you came when Jade died.
For sure. Because the intermittent visits, I would definitely see Jade, and she was like the most interesting wolf I have ever met. I could only understand half of what she said, but was
it weird for you because you were an upright wolf to like see?
It was odd.
Yeah.
Because my whole family line were all bipeds.
Yeah. Well, and also I think Jade, you know how when people get older and they originally speak a different language?
Yeah, you default
it defaults OG back. And I think with her not changing back into human form, that like, I think maybe by the end, there was no talking to Jade. Jade was a dog.
Yep. You had maybe there was 25 words that she knew, but she knew them as words. Remember a couple. And, the sound of, she had a certain bowl that made a sound, whenever it would hit the counter, hit the floor. And that was.
Yeah. That was a thing. Oh, yes. We're back with you. Here we are. Yeah. Yeah.
This makes me so happy. Yeah. I just love the idea that like we grow old together, like, independent in our own lives. We still stay in touch. And as these pen pal letters, like the writing kind of gets shakier and shakier. Do
we ever switch to like electronic, or is it always written?
I love, yes. If you're gonna have a pen pal, just get the stationer, enjoy the process.
Oh my gosh. Listen, like mail is so fun.
It is.
I love
truly.
It.
Yeah.
Anything you get in the mail that is not a bill is so exciting.
Yep, not a bill and not spam. I don't get very excited for spam,
No, but like letters. Yeah. I actually, about once a year, I get really excited about letters because I have what I like to call a sticker problem, where I
just never heard of that problem.
I maybe like collect a bunch of stickers, and then it gets overwhelming, and my partner goes, "Hey, babe, you have 2 drawers full of thousands of stickers," and I'm like, yeah. And then I just send out a bunch of joy in the mail. And sometimes people write back, and that's cool. I try to include this is what I'm currently reading and what I'm currently listening to. Aww. And just a little I haven't talked to you in a while, a sort of note card with some stuff on it. And then just too many stickers stuffed in an envelope, and they just send it out in the mail because that's so exciting to get in the mail.
I love that.
It's
half the reason I back all these projects on crowd, or what is it? On
Kickstarter.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, because A, I want to support my friends, and B, I just love getting things in the mail.
Get stuff in the mail.
So exciting.
And with a crowdfunder, they come back. They mail out so much later that it's
I've completely forgotten.
You don't even remember, and then you're just what is this game? Amazing. Yeah.
Always a good time.
I love it. It's maybe time for me to do another sticker mailer. Oh boy. Let's do our moments of gratitude. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been doing it the whole time. I think we've both been this is so nice. I love it. But it is. I think this game is pretty beautiful.
It's incredible. And I'm so grateful you have shown me this game. It's not, I definitely relate to all and most of these experiences and the prompts and everything, but to role play it in a safe, controlled, and just comfortable space where I know I can be vulnerable, but I can also pull back when I want to.
Yep.
all available. It just feels so good. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and like being so willing to just be like, here we go. Let's do it. Like, I'm ready to just
Always.
dive in. Yeah, I just think it's like it's such an interesting idea for a game. And also like I think it shows us so beautifully how like role-playing games don't have to be combat oriented.
Right. Doesn't have to be just like physical violence, dungeon based.
Yeah.
I don't have to do puzzle. I didn't have to do a single puzzle. I hate puzzles.
I mean, except for the puzzle of who you are as a person.
You know what? And that was hard.
It was really hard.
It was so hard to crack. Yeah. But we got there. We did.
Got that. It was slow, but we got there. Yeah, but I think, you know, like, I think that this is maybe one of the more elegant, like, examples of, like, a role-playing game can be clumps. You don't ever have to roll dice, and that's okay. Right. Like, you can just play it out and see what happens. Yeah. Tell
stories with other mediums, because I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, have you played any prompt or card-based story game before? Like, there's the classic of For the Queen.
I haven't played For the Queen.
I
mean, we played. Yeah. Oh no.
Darn, we have to play more games.
It's terrible. I'm devastated. Yeah, but I mean, we just recently did This Party Sucks. You were here for that.
Yeah.
That is also just a prompt-based game.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that, go watch B and I and our friend Kylie Eberhard also play This Party Sucks. Also about being queer.
Yes. Queer, confused, and in places we don't want to be.
Places we don't want to be. I feel like I should have a t-shirt that says that.
Queer, confused, and I don't want to be here.
And I don't want to be here.
I love it. I'm trying to think of any card-based games. I've played a handful of prompt-based games. There is a TTRPG genre called Firebrands. Or maybe that's who made it first. But it's just, you know, you're answering a series of questions. You know, you're given a situation. It's very much like Fiasco, but more gay, usually.
Love that.
Right. And that's
anything
just,
that ends with but more gay, I probably want to play it.
Heck yes.
I played a solo RPG. I feel like solo RPGs use cards a lot more often than co-op ones. I played one called Queenless.
Ooh, I think I know that. I'm looking it up.
You play a bee and you are rebuilding the queen to your hive has passed, and you have to rebuild it by gathering the royal jelly that you have to, and you like, depending on what you draw, like the suit makes you go a different direction from the hive, and then like the number makes you have encounters or whatever. I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, we just did an arc, Sleepaway.
Oh, yes.
By Possum Creek.
So games,
good. That uses cards to for the cryptid to attack you.
So I just love non-traditional.
All the things are bad in it.
Yeah. Such a fun game, though. And then like Possum Creek games, they've also, I feel like we talked about this last time. They did something else, and it's
Wander
cozy.
Home.
Yes. But there's another.
Yuzeba's Bed and Breakfast?
Yep, that's the one that I love.
It's so good.
And it's amazing. And I don't know if there's dice in it. I feel like I played it and I did not roll any dice. And if I was supposed to, oops.
Yeah, I don't remember rolling any dice with it. I think it is diceless.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
All amazing games.
All amazing games. And if anybody at home has a game that is alternative or not, I also play traditional games. Like, let me know, because I love the idea of being able to like get in there and play some stories. I am toying with the idea that there needs to be a t-shirt that says Sarah's Table and then stories that don't fit. Because I feel like that is what I do. Like, where do you put this? We don't know. This story doesn't fit. Sometimes a story doesn't fit inside me and it has to come out. Sometimes it doesn't fit in a genre. Sometimes it doesn't fit in society.
Yep. But I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Yeah. Speaking of that, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Well, if you want to find me on the internet, you could probably look me up as at @bzelda_. I'm available on all social media platforms for the most part. I have been your non-binary busy bee. And if you like tabletop games, which I assume you do, you showed up here, so you're already awesome. Yeah. Check out probably anything I've done, because that's 80% of the work I do. I do a little bit of, a little bit of local advocacy where I talk about that. And I also have a podcast about anime. So if that's your jazz, check it out.
Love it. Is there a particular anime that you are covering currently, or is it just as a whole?
We are doing Attack on Titan right now because we are coming up to, I think it's like there's 40 days until the final season. And this has been like 10 years. I've been watching this there's only 4 seasons, but I've been waiting 10 years for it. And I don't even know if I want the ending. I'm so like, I've got so many feelings of frustration, but like, I have to see what happens. And I'm invested in these characters, but also I don't like them because like, it's good. It's good.
It's good. Go watch it.
Yes.
Listen to it.
Give it a listen. It's a podcast. Yeah.
Watch it with your ears.
Heck yeah. There you go. How about you?
That's a normal thing to say.
I thought so.
Yeah, I'm Sarah Moore, and you can find me all over the internet at Pixies and Pins or my website, pixiesandpins.com. I'm running a Thirsty Sword Lesbians arc over on Winter's Tales on Twitch. It's a tearjerker. So who knew that the game like with a name like Thirsty Sword Lesbians would just be like just yanking on everybody's heart.
Yep.
I also am often over on Actoroki and World of Chaldea, which is Peter Atkinson's project. Wednesday nights we do an ongoing story over there. Right here on Gen Con TV. And then next Friday here on Sarah's Table at 5 p.m. Pacific, we are doing an episode of Badge Quest, which is an RPG where you play a Girl Scout troop who is fighting cryptids and you advance by earning merit badges.
So cool.
I'm so excited. I just want all of them and to wear them on a sash.
Right? There's nothing cooler. Like, what more do you need in life than a sash full of your accomplishments?
Sash or a vest? I don't know. I like both.
I like sashes are like, they're more like you could accessorize it with everything versus the vest you are locked into.
That's true. Very locked in. But like a vest has such a good vest. Space.
Yeah.
So you could like earn more patches.
Very true. I think you start with the sash and then you upgrade to the vest.
And then you're like, oh no, I've learned too many things.
I'm so accomplished.
I have too many skills. Time to upgrade to the vest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's how it has to happen.
All right. Well, come watch me do that, everyone, because I'm going to upgrade to a vest at some point. Yes. I believe in myself. Yeah, I think that's all the things. So I just like to thank everybody. B, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I really enjoy playing games with you, and I hope we can do it more.
I think so. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and you're very far away. So we're going to have to earmark conventions that we are both at so we can play in person.
So far, we know of one. Good old Gen Con.
Good old Gen Con. It's less than a year away. So.
Heck, yeah. Dang, time really keeps moving, huh?
Time just consistently moving forward at sometimes a plodding and sometimes a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
Oof.
So inconsistent.
Why though? It's not fair. And anyway, thank you to Gen Con TV and Peter Atkinson for giving me this platform so I can tell all of these stories that don't fit anywhere else. And thank you to my phone, my watch keeps being like, you should stand up. You've been sitting for a long time. Like, I know.
I will. Come on.
Thank you for letting me know that my health is important. I appreciate it. Right? Thank you to Marcus Mays, who is our tech over at Gen Con TV, keeps us running smooth. Thank you to my partner, who is my personal IT and who tries his very best to make me a sane and centered human being. I feel like he's doing mostly okay.
Yeah. You got a snack midway through. Like, that's a sign of a wonderful person, in my opinion.
The best. Finger guns. Thank you to everybody at home for watching. I would like to thank Yeonsoo Kim for making this beautiful game. And thank you. Yeah, I'm sure there's more people to thank. Just
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. If I forgot you, just like take a moment.
This thank you.
It's for you. You right there at home. So as always, keep making art and keep being art. And we'll see you next time. Mwah.